Hello again. It's time for another streaming recommendation from the Dryden Theater, based on programming that we've done over the last 5 years and the kind of thing that you could expect to see from the Dryden when we open back up. I am Jared Case, curator of film exhibitions at the George Eastman Museum, and this week we've been going through film history decade by decade, giving you a recommendation from each decade from the 20s to the 60s. We're up through the 1930s right now, and our recommendation for you is the 1938 Best Picture winner, You Can't Take It With You, directed by Frank Capra and starring James Stewart and Jean Arthur. So Capra was already well established at this point in time. 4 years earlier, It Happened One Night had swept the Academy Awards. And in the meantime, he had also released Mr. Deeds Goes to Town and Lost Horizon. But this was a bit of a coming out party for James Stewart, who wasn't even under contract to Columbia where the film was made. He was actually an RKO player, and RKO had been loaning him out, and Capra requested to see him for this role, and of course it started something great for his career. Capra and Stewart worked together again in 1939 for Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, and both careers went on from there. So this, the reason that we showed this at the Dryden Theater in 2019 was because it was written by Robert Riskin, or at least the screenplay was written by Riskin, who was the husband of Fay Wray. And we had a special guest come and do a talk with us. Her name was Victoria Riskin, the daughter of Robert Riskin and Fay Wray, who had just put out a book, sort of a combined biography of the two and their history in the Hollywood of that time. So it was a series called Riskin and Ray, having to do with Fay Wray films and Robert Riskin. Of course, Riskin worked a lot with Capra, so there were a lot of Capra films to choose from, and we chose this one because it may be a little bit underseen, but certainly one of his best. So this is the story of two families that get together, the lower-class family, and typical of Capra, the upper-class family. Jean Arthur plays Alice, who is, at the beginning of the film, engaged to Tony, who is the son of the upper-class family. And complicating matters are the fact that the upper-class family wants to buy the house where the lower-class family lives and turn that into a munitions plant. So Alice's family is a little strange, and they don't certainly clash with the upper-class family, despite the fact that they want to buy the property. And the goal is to get the wedding to go forward, but they just can't seem to do it. So besides Jean Arthur and James Stewart, the patriarchs are played by Lionel Barrymore and Edward Arnold, who are great in it. Spring Byington actually got Best Supporting Actress Oscar nomination for her role as Alice's mother. And Ann Miller, who is in the film as Alice's sister, despite being something like 23 years difference in age, was only 15 when she shot the film. So she had to actually lie about her age, and this was something I came to realize only recently, was how young Ann Miller was during her career doing the musicals in the 40s and 50s, and even back into 1938. So she lied about her age, and she was certainly a performer, singer, and dancer, but she wasn't much of a ballerina. So some of these toe moves that she was doing actually caused her pain, particularly the times that he needed to do it over and over and over again. And Stewart would see her crying on set, and he didn't know exactly why. She didn't want to say, so he would have candies for her, hoping to make her feel better. This takes a significant shift about 3/4 of the way through as they're resolving, and it shifts more to Edward Arnold's character. But it does come back around in the end. There's hijinks and hilarity that ensues, particularly with Alice's family, and as they come together, you do have that Capra-esque realization of the importance of life and the importance of family over all else. So we do recommend it. Please come back. It's on Criterion Channel. Please come back, and we'll give you another recommendation tomorrow. It's something from the 1940s, so we hope to see you then.